Everyone, today we are looking at a question like this, okay? So from here itself, right, I guess it's pretty obvious to most of the students that this is what we call an area and perimeter, question, okay? What is the concept? Well, this is what we call same height or same base, okay? How is it going to be like? I'm gonna show it to you, okay? And how are we able to to be able to identify concepts so easily, so quickly? It's really all based on experience. So the more questions you're exposed to, the chances of you identifying the correct concept is way higher. So in order for you to increase that chance, you want to make sure that you are exposed to many different types of questions, okay? So for us, what we do is we have topical worksheets that are related to that. And if you're interested, you can leave in the comments section below. We will be able to send them your way, okay? You can purchase a few of them from us and you see whether if that is the kind of topical worksheet that you want, your child to be exposed to, or if you are a student watching this, then of course, if you want to be exposed to those questions, okay? Because we have consolidated them, in terms of levels, in terms of concepts, in terms of topics, okay? Now, so let's take a look at this question. As you can see over here, right, it says that ABCD is a square of size 4 cm. So I'm just going to maybe just highlight for you first, just a quick one, which I'm going to erase it in a bit. All right, you can see that this is the square. Okay, I just want you to make sure that you know what is this. Okay, what I like to tell my students to do is to use their finger and just go and trace it out. Okay, so at least they can see it. Okay, then more importantly is in the second sentence, it says that DEFG is a rectangle of length 5 cm. So this is the one that I'm talking about. Okay, this is the one that I'm talking about. And these are the two shapes that we see, right? Now, whenever a question that is about same height and same base, I always tell my students, you first need to try your best, if possible, cut into triangles or rectangle or square. Okay, since I already have a square and a rectangle, I'm going to try my ultimate best, my level best, to cut it into triangles. Okay, now, so I see one triangle over here. Again, I know it may seem very difficult for you, right? Because again, if this is the first time you are watching a same height, same base question, right? Then yeah, this is a very difficult question. But if you have seen a lot of questions like that before, you want to practice those first before coming to this, okay? So this is one of the most complicated or complex question when it comes to same height, same base, okay? Now, but with exposure, anything is possible, okay? So you can see that I have identified a triangle like that, right? Now, the second triangle that I can see, which I'm going to probably use blue, is this one over here. Okay? Now, the reason why I didn't care too much about the rectangle and I just focus on the square is for one very specific reason. Because I have the measurement, right? What is the measurement that I have? I have 4 cm over here, and since this is a square, definitely this also has to be 4 cm. Okay, so that's the reason why I started breaking up this square into shapes, that I know. The next one that I see is this one over here. Okay, which is again, highlighted in purple. Okay, now the first thing that I'm going to do, of course, is to find the area of the square. Area of a square. All right, what is area of a square? Area of a square in this situation has to be 4 times 4. All right, we get to an answer of 16 centimeter. Of course, remember, because this area we talk about square. Okay, we use square. Now, there are two triangles that I'm going to fix my eyes on. Okay, the first one is the orange one, which I'm, highlighting. The second one is the purple one. If there's one thing that I want to show it to you is this, the orange triangle, okay, the orange triangle's height is this over here. Can you see that I've highlighted in yellow? And the purple color triangle's height is over here. Can you see that? The second thing that I want to highlight to you is that the orange color triangle's base is over here. And the purple color triangle's base is over here. So I hope you are seeing something. Okay, I hope you are seeing some things. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm always going to find the area of a triangle. Which triangle am I referring to? Of course, the orange one, right? So I'll just write ABG over here. Well, to make sure that I have enough space, I'm just going to write it in this manner. Half times, again, what is my base? My base is BG, right? I have no measurements over here. Right? Teacher Joseph, wait. I thought just now you said that there are some measurements. Yes, I did. But what did I say about the measurements? I say that the measurements, it's everything. You get what I'm trying to say? So I still do not have the individual measurements. Okay? So I will just put as BG first, right? Why not put a question mark? Well, but I don't think a question mark really helps you to see anything. You get what I'm trying to say? So you want you put as BG since they have already given you B and G. Unless, of course, if there's no B and G over there, then yeah, I understand if you were to put a question mark. What is the height? Well, thankfully, we know that the height in this situation is 4 cm as well. So when I do this, right, I realize that I can get to 2BG. So this is the area of the orange color. How I wish I know BG, right? If BG is, say, for example, 3, then I will know it's 2 times 3. If BG is 1, then it's 2 times 1. If BG is 2, then it will be 2 times 2. Okay, for now, I still do not know, which is perfectly fine. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to have a clearer view. I want to have a clearer view. I want to have a clearer view. I want to write down everything I possibly can first, okay? The next thing I can do is I can find a purple color triangle. We call that area of triangle DGC. In this situation, it's half times, once again, what is our base? Our base is everything over here. Again, I do not have the measurements. I have the measurements from B to C, but I do not have the measurements from G to C. Okay, so over here, what I will do is half times the base, and I'll times the height. And you see something over here, right? That the height is the same. All right, the height is the same. Okay, so from here itself, I know that this becomes 2GC. Now, I highlighted this for a reason because when I highlighted them, I realized I'm actually touching on the length of the square, part of the length of the square. Follow my cursor, okay? Another part of the length of the square. These two, in fact, made up to be the length of a square. And another one over here. So if I were to use this times this, can you see it? One more time. This times this, and this times this, isn't that equals to half of the area of a square? Now, if you're wondering, wait, why is it half? Why is this equals to half of the area of the square? Let me just write that down. Half of area of square. Why is that so? Because of these two things. If I were to just use A to B times BG plus GC times DC, then yes, I'm finding the area of the square. But because there's a half, it means that the area of the orange color triangle and the purple color triangle is actually 16 divided by 2, which gets me to 8 centimeters square. Oh, so if the orange and the purple is 8 centimeters square, isn't it possible or in fact safe to assume that this triangle over here, which is the one highlighted in light blue, is also equals to 8 centimeters square? And so I'm just going to write that down, okay? For this itself, it's 8 centimeters square. Isn't that true? And when I look at this triangle, I can see that the height is here. So what I will do is I will say area of triangle. What is this called? ADG, right? So I'll write ADG. Again, half, whatever you have, you list it down first. What is my base? Thankfully, my base I already know is 5 cm, right? Because this is the triangle over here. You can see the cursor. All right, thankfully, they have already given it to us in the question. In fact, they have also given it to us that DEFG is a rectangle of length 5 cm times 5. What's my height? My height is ED. Okay, my height is ED. So if my height is ED, okay, I would times it in, and I realize that that gets me to 8 centimeters square. Isn't that true? Right? Why is that so? Let me just reiterate that point once again. Okay, this orange color triangle coupled with this purple color triangle gets me to an answer of 8 centimeters square. Right? Because when I do the Multiplication, I realize that this times this, and it's half of this times this. And then another half of this times this. I do not get to the area of the square, but I get to half of area of the square, which is equals to 8 centimeters squared. Now, from here itself, you realize that from the very beginning, we have already been tasked to find out what is ED. From the very beginning, we have already been tasked to find out what is ED. Right? And coincidentally, not coincidentally, of course, right? But in this question, ADG's height, which is over here, is parallel to ED. And if it's parallel to ED, that means to say the height is ED, right? So what you can do is, of course, you can find out what is this first. You can say that this 2.5 ED equals to 8 centimeters squared. Your job, of course, is to find ED. So ED equals to 8 divided by 2.5. All right, when you do 8 divided by 2.5, you can press a calculator. You get to an answer of 3.2. And of course, because we are talking about just the measurement, the length of a rectangle, in fact, sorry, I apologize, the breadth of a rectangle, I will say is 3.2 cm. And therefore, this is your answer for this question.
Hi everyone, if you like this video, you can click right here for a similar video, or you can view our playlist here.